Long ago, the galaxy forgot humans. The tall Illyrians with silver skin told stories about them around soft blue lights. They called humans the first wanderers, beings who walk the stars when most species still hid in caves. The stories said humans laughed at danger, built cities on dead worlds, and vanished one day without reason. No bones, no ruins, just silence. The Tharok, heavy warriors covered in thick black armor, kept different tales. In their deep stone halls, they spoke of the Red Tide, a race of short-lived fighters who charged into plasma storms and came out laughing. The Tharok elders claimed their ancestors fought beside humans once. Then the humans disappeared, and the galaxy decided the stories were myths to scare children. The Lyroth, with wings like thin crystal, sang quiet songs about the lost flame. A people so bright they burned themselves out. Their poets said humans lived fast, loved hard, and died young. No one argued. No proof ever came. 3,000 years passed. The name human became a word for something impossible. Then the Great Veil woke up. The Veil was no normal storm. It was born from a weapon fired in a war nobody remembered. A wall of twisting fire and radiation stretched across a whole arm of the galaxy. Ships that touched it melted. Sensors went blind. For generations no one crossed it. The galaxy split in two. One side grew rich and calm. The other side stayed hidden. Scouts from the Illyrian Science Guild noticed the change first. Small clear patches appeared in the storm. The veil thinned in places. Light came through. Signals leaked out. Old signals, human signals, music from ancient broadcasts, news reports in a language the Illyrians had only seen in museum files. Voices talking about weather, sports, family. The Illyrians sent a message through the biggest clear spot. They used every old code they knew. No answer came for days. Then a reply arrived. Clear. Calm. In perfect galactic standard. This is Colonel Daniel Carter, United Earth Marine Corps. You are approaching restricted space. Identify yourselves. The Illyrian ship crew stared at their screens. Humans, speaking now, alive. A joint team formed fast. Illyrian scientists for talk, Tharok soldiers for protection, Lyroth navigators to read the storm. They built 3 ships with the best shields money could buy. They waited for the next clear window. When it opened, they flew through. They came out on the other side and saw a solar system. 8 planets. A blue-green world in the 3rd spot. Cities glowed on the night side. Orbital stations turned slow. Cargo ships moved in neat lines. No huge warships. No planet-cracking guns. Just normal life. The joint team sent greetings again. This time the answer came quicker. Welcome to Sol Space. This is Captain Laura Bennett, Earth Diplomatic Service. Please hold position. We are sending an escort. 2 small frigates appeared. Plain gray hulls, no fancy designs. They matched speed and led the alien ships to a neutral station in high orbit. The aliens landed. They stepped out into a bright corridor. Human soldiers waited. Simple uniforms, rifles slung low but ready, faces calm. Colonel Daniel Carter stepped forward. Tall, short dark hair starting to gray. Steady green eyes. He wore no medals, no cape, just a plain jacket with Earth's blue globe on the shoulder. Welcome, he said. We have not had visitors in a long time. The Illyrian lead scientist, a tall female named Virael, spoke first. Her voice trembled a little. We thought your people were gone. The stories say you vanished. Daniel gave a small smile. Stories get things wrong. We got cut off. The veil formed during a solar flare cycle we could not predict. We adapted, built what we needed, survived. The Tharok war chief, a massive figure named Korvax, stepped closer. His armor clicked with each move. You speak like it was easy. Our records say humans fought like demons, never backed down. Laura Bennett answered this time. She stood beside Daniel. Short brown hair, sharp blue eyes. We fought when we had to. We still do. But we prefer not to. The meeting lasted hours. Questions flew. The aliens showed star maps of their side. Humans showed charts of theirs. They had spread to 12 systems. Colonies on Mars, Europa, Titan, and farther out. No empire, just homes. The aliens expected pride or anger. They saw neither. Just quiet interest. Then the veil flared again. A sudden burst of radiation hit the station. Alarms sounded. One alien scout ship, left in open orbit, took a direct hit. Its engines died. It started to drift toward the storm edge. Plasma fingers reached for it. The Illyrians panicked. Their ship could not move fast enough. The Tharok offered weapons to blast it free. Too risky. The Lyrath could only watch. Daniel looked at Laura. She nodded once. He spoke into his comm. All available craft, rescue up, now. 4 Earth destroyers and 6 troop transports moved at once. They formed a shield wall between the damaged ship and the storm. Tractor beams locked on. The transports extended heavy cables. Marines in heavy suits launched from airlocks. They attached grapples. They pulled. Plasma licked at their hulls. Shields glowed red. One transport lost an engine. It kept pulling. Another took a direct arc. Its armor bubbled. Crew sealed breaches and stayed on task. The aliens watched from the station window. They saw humans move into the blaze. No hesitation. No calls for reward. Just work. After 40 minutes, the scout ship cleared the danger zone. Engines restarted with human help. The crew inside sent thanks in broken standard. The humans answered with one word. You're welcome. Back on the station, the mood changed. Virael looked at Daniel. Why risk your people for ours? Daniel shrugged. Because it was the right thing. We have been alone long enough. If you are here, maybe others are too. We do not want to start with blood. Korvax stared hard. Our old songs say humans only know war. Laura met his gaze. We know more than that. But if someone brings war to our door, we remember the old songs too. The aliens left soon after. They carried data, recordings, stories, proof. When they crossed back through the veil, the news exploded. Humans live. Humans help strangers. Humans walk into fire without blinking. Some celebrated. Some feared. In Tharok halls, old warriors sharpened blades. In Illyrian towers, scientists planned more talks. In Lyrath temples, new songs began. On Earth, Daniel Carter stood on a balcony overlooking the Pacific. Stars shone clear. The veil looked thin now. He thought of the aliens, of their stories. Laura joined him. They called us mythical ancients. Daniel nodded. Let them keep the myth a little longer. He looked back at the sky. Soon they will see the truth. The galaxy on the other side waited, and the humans, quiet for 3,000 years, began to step forward again. The news from the far side of the veil changed everything. On Illyrian homeworlds, crystal spires lit up with shared data feeds. Scientists replayed the recordings of human voices. They studied the simple gray ships that pulled their damaged scout free from plasma fire. Elders who once dismissed the old tales now sat quiet. The first wanderers were real, and they had not forgotten how to help. Tharok fortresses rang with different sounds. War drums beat slow and deep. Young warriors gathered in training pits. They sharpened blades and tested armor. The old songs of the Red Tide came back to life. Chiefs spoke in low voices. If the humans still live, they still remember war. We must be ready. Some wanted peace. Most wanted proof. They sent more scouts through the thinning rifts. Small teams, armed, watching. The Lyrath flew higher than ever. Their sky temples drifted close to the storm edge. Singers composed new verses, songs of blue worlds, of soldiers who walked into blaze without fear. The notes carried hope and worry mixed together. Back on the human side, life moved forward with quiet purpose. Colonel Daniel Carter returned to his base on Luna. He walked the gray corridors under artificial lights. Marines nodded as he passed. No big celebrations, just steady work. Reports came in daily. Alien ship movements, signal patterns. Daniel read them all. He knew the galaxy on the other side had noticed them now. Captain Laura Bennett stayed close. She handled the talks. Her office filled with screens showing star charts. She met with linguists and diplomats. They practiced phrases in Illyrian, Tharok, and Lyrath tongues. "We want friends," she told her team. "But we will not beg." Everyone understood. 3,000 years alone had taught them self-respect. The first official contact came 2 weeks later. A small delegation crossed through a stable rift. 3 Illyrians, 2 Tharok, 1 Lyrath. They arrived at a new station, built fast, near the Veil edge. Neutral ground, white walls, wide windows showing the storm outside. Human hosts waited in plain uniforms, no weapons in sight. But security teams stayed close. Daniel and Laura greeted them. The Illyrian lead, Virail again, bowed slightly. "We come to learn, and to thank you once more." Daniel nodded. "We are glad you are safe. Please sit." They talked for hours. The aliens asked about Earth history, about the Veil, about why humans never tried to cross before. Daniel answered straight. "We tried early on. Ships were lost. We learned the storm was too strong, so we turned inward, built colonies, improved shields, waited for a better day." The Tharok chief, Korvax, leaned forward. His voice rumbled. "Our records speak of humans who fought beside us, fierce, loyal, then gone. What happened?" Laura met his eyes. "We do not know the full story. Our archives from that time are damaged. But we remember the value of allies. If your people fought with ours once, that matters." Korvax grunted. Not satisfied, but not hostile. The talks ended with small gifts. Illyrians gave a crystal data core full of star maps. Tharok offered samples of their armor alloy. Lyrath sang a short song of welcome. Humans gave back medical kits, food packs, and a simple holo display of Earth from space. Blue oceans, green lands, white clouds. As the delegation left, Virail paused at the airlock. "Your people are not what we expected. The myths said you were wild, untamed." Daniel smiled a little. "Myths leave out the quiet parts. The building, the waiting, the helping." The aliens crossed back. The rift closed behind them. But not everything stayed peaceful. A week later, a Tharok scout group pushed too far. They entered a human mining zone near Proxima Centauri. 4 heavy cruisers, armed, demanding mineral rights, claiming old treaties from before the Veil. The local Earth commander, Major Stephen Grant, responded fast. He sent a single frigate, no fleet, just one ship. It hailed them in clear standard. "This is restricted space. Turn around or face consequences." The Tharok laughed over the channel. "You are few, we are many. Stand aside." Stephen gave the order. Warning shots across their bow. The frigate fired precise railgun rounds. They passed close enough to rattle shields. No damage, just a message. The Tharok hesitated, then charged. The fight lasted 11 minutes. The human frigate danced between the bigger ships. It used speed and tight turns. Missiles curved in from blind angles. Point defenses shredded incoming fire. One Tharok cruiser lost engines. Another took hull breaches. The rest pulled back. Stephen sent a final message. "Go home. Next time we do not miss." The scouts limped away. Word reached the Tharok homeworld fast. Warriors roared in anger. Chiefs called councils. They fight like the old songs, one said. No fear, no waste. Some wanted full war. Others said wait. They did not destroy us. They warned us. The Illyrians heard the story too. They sent private messages to Earth. Please forgive our allies. They test strength. It is their way. Laura answered, we understand, but tests have limits. More rifts opened. Trade began small. Illyrian medicine for human tech. Tharok metals for Earth designs. Lyrath songs recorded and shared. People on both sides started to learn names, faces, habits. But under the surface, tension grew. Tharok hardliners built secret fleets. They remembered the Red Tide as conquerors. They wanted to see if humans still had that fire, or if time had softened them. Illyrian spies watched human drills. They saw soldiers run through burning mock-ups. Marines charge into simulated plasma. No one flinched. The spies sent reports home. The flame still burns. On Earth, Daniel Carter met with his superiors. They sat in a plain room. Maps glowed on the walls. We are not alone anymore, Daniel said. Some will welcome us, some will fear us. We need to be ready for both. The general nodded. Build the fleet, train the troops, but keep the door open. Daniel looked out a window at the stars. The veil shimmered thinner every day. Laura joined him later. They still call us mythical ancients. Daniel thought for a moment. Let them. Myths make people careful. He turned back to the view. Soon they will call us something else. The galaxy waited to see what name humans would earn this time. The rifts grew wider every week. Light poured through like cracks in a dark wall. Trade ships moved back and forth. Illyrian crystal tech arrived on Earth stations. Human fusion drives went the other way. Tharok armor plates were tested in Earth labs. Lyrath songs filled quiet comm channels. For the first time in thousands of years, the galaxy felt connected again. But peace is fragile when old fears wake up. On the Tharok homeworld, a group of hardline chiefs met in secret. They called themselves the Iron Circle. They looked at the trade data and saw weakness. Humans shared too much, gave too freely. The chiefs believed the old Red Tide stories meant humans were born for conquest. If they were kind now, it was only because they had grown soft behind the veil. The Iron Circle decided to test that softness. They planned a small raid, not full war, just a push. A Tharok strike group, 6 heavy cruisers, and 12 troop transports slipped through a narrow rift. Their target was a human mining colony on a rocky moon called Epsilon 9, rich in rare metals, lightly guarded, perfect to show strength. The strike group arrived at dawn local time. They dropped out of jump close to the moon. No warning, no hail. They fired suppression beams to disable comm towers. Then, landing craft launched. Tharok warriors in black armor poured out. They moved fast toward the main mining dome. Inside the colony, alarms screamed. Workers ran to shelters. A small Earth Marine detachment, 40 soldiers under Captain Michael Torres, scrambled to defensive positions. Michael was young for command. Dark hair, quick brown eyes. He had trained for pirate raids, not alien invasions, but the drills were the same. He spoke into his helmet comm. All units hold the line. No retreat. Reinforcements are coming. The Tharok charged. They expected panic. Easy victory. Instead, they met disciplined fire. Human rail rifles cracked in steady bursts. Precise shots punched through armor joints. Tharok warriors fell. Others took cover behind rocks. Michael led a counterpush. He took 10 Marines and flanked left through a service tunnel. They came out behind the enemy line. Grenades rolled. Explosions threw dust high. Tharok squads turned to face the new threat. That gave the main line time to advance. The fight lasted 20 minutes. Then human reinforcements arrived. 3 destroyers dropped from orbit. They did not fire at will. They targeted engines only. 1 Tharok cruiser lost thrust and drifted. Another took hits to its weapons bays. The landing craft pulled back in disorder. Michael stood on the cratered ground. Smoke rose around him. His armor showed scorch marks. A Tharok warrior lay wounded nearby. Michael knelt. He spoke through his translator. "We do not want your blood. Go home." The warrior stared up. His mandibles clicked once. Then he nodded. The strike group retreated through the rift. They left behind damaged ships and 30 dead. The humans lost 9. The colony dome held. Word spread fast on both sides. The Illyrians sent urgent messages. This was not our will. The Iron Circle acts alone. They offered aid for the wounded. Medical drones crossed the rift within hours. The Lyrath sang laments for the fallen. Their voices carried sorrow across channels. On Tharok worlds, the Iron Circle tried to spin the story. They called it a test of honor. They said humans proved weak because they did not destroy the fleet. But many warriors who fought saw differently. They saw humans hold ground without hate, fight clean, offer mercy. The chiefs lost face. Public anger turned against them. Younger leaders spoke up. If we push again, we may find the red tide was not myth, it was warning. On Earth, Daniel Carter watched the battle footage in a command room. Screens showed every angle. They tested us. Laura nodded, and we passed without burning their house down. Daniel looked serious. Next time they may send more. We need to show strength and restraint together. He ordered fleet exercises near the Veil. Carriers practiced shield walls. Marines ran live fire drills in vacuum. Engineers built mobile defense platforms, small stations that could jump to hotspots. The message was clear. Humans protected their own, but they did not seek revenge. A week later, a full delegation arrived. Illyrian elders, Tharok moderates, Lyrath peace singers. They met on the same neutral station. This time, the room felt heavier. Korvax, the war chief from the first contact, spoke for the Tharok. His voice carried shame. The Iron Circle acted without honor. They are being punished. We offer restitution and apology. Daniel listened, then answered. We accept the apology. We want no war. But if attacks come again, we will defend fully. Virail, the Illyrian scientist, added her voice. Our people wish to build trust. We propose a joint council, one representative from each major group, to handle disputes, to share knowledge. Laura looked at Daniel. He gave a small nod. We agree, he said. But the council must have teeth. Rules must be followed. The agreement was signed that day. Simple terms. Mutual defense against outside threats. Open trade. No secret fleets near borders. The Veil rifts would be monitored together. After the meeting, Korvax stayed behind. He faced Michael Torres, who had come as witness. The Tharok looked down at the human captain. You fought well. You showed mercy when you could have killed. Michael met his gaze. We fight to protect, not to destroy. Korvax placed a heavy hand on Michael's shoulder. The old songs were right about one thing. Humans do not forget how to burn, but you choose when. We choose peace first. The Tharok left. The station emptied. Outside, the Veil shimmered. Rifts stayed open longer now. Ships passed freely. Trade grew. Stories mixed. Myths faded. But in quiet corners, some still whispered. The ancients had returned. The flames still lived. Daniel Carter stood on the station observation deck. Stars stretched beyond the storm. Laura joined him. They are starting to see us, she said. Daniel nodded. Not as myths, as neighbors. He looked toward Earth space, and if anyone forgets that, we will remind them. The galaxy turned slowly. Connections grew. Trust built one careful step at a time. The blaze had been tested. It still burned bright, but now it warmed, as much as it warned. The Joint Council held its first real test 6 months after the agreement. A new rift opened near a shared border zone. It stayed stable longer than any before. Ships from both sides passed through without trouble. Trade grew faster. Illyrian healing tech saved human lives in accidents. Human engines helped Tharok freighters move quicker. Lyrath art appeared in Earth museums. People started to smile when they saw alien faces on screens. Then trouble came. Quiet at first. A small fleet appeared on the far edge of human space. Not Tharok, not Illyrian, not Lyrath. These were the Vorath, a species few had mentioned. Tall, thin, skin like cracked obsidian, eyes that glowed faint red. They kept to themselves in a distant sector. Old records called them scavengers. They took what others left behind. They never asked. The Vorath ships drifted close to a human research outpost on a frozen world called Glacier Point. The outpost studied the Veil itself. Scientists lived there. Families too. No heavy defenses, just sensor arrays and a handful of patrol boats. The Vorath hailed them once. A cold voice spoke in broken standard. This zone belongs to the Void. Leave or be claimed. The outpost commander, Lieutenant Sarah Newen, answered calm. This is United Earth territory. Please state your business. No reply came. Instead, the Vorath fired. Thin beams of dark energy cut through the ice. One sensor tower fell. Alarms rang inside the domes. Sarah sent an emergency signal through the rift. Then she ordered evacuation drills. Non-combatants to shelters. Marines to perimeter. The signal reached the council station fast. Daniel Carter read it first. His face tightened. They hit a science post. Minimal defenses. Laura Bennett stood beside him. We send help now. Full response. The council was called into emergency session. Illyrian elders looked worried. Tharok chiefs growled low. The rat singers fell silent. Korvax spoke first. Vorath are old trouble. They take what is weak. If we let them take from humans, they will take from all. Virael nodded. Our ships are near. We can reach in hours. Daniel looked at the map. Our fastest group is closer. We go in first. You follow. No one argued. Earth sent a strike force. 3 carriers. 8 destroyers, 2 troop transports full of Marines. Colonel Michael Torres led the ground element. He had fought at Epsilon 9. He knew the cost of hesitation. The fleet jumped through the nearest stable rift. They arrived near Glacier Point in under 10 hours. The Vorath had already landed troops. Black armored figures moved across the ice. They drilled into domes. They pulled equipment out. Scientists hid in bunkers. A few tried to fight back with hand weapons. They died fast. Michael's dropships hit atmosphere hard. They landed in a circle around the main dome. Suits sealed against the cold. Rifles up. They advanced in tight formation. No walled charges. Steady steps. The Vorath turned to meet them. Their beams cut the air. One Marine took a hit to the chest. Armor smoked, but held. He kept moving. His squad returned fire. Rail rounds punched through obsidian skin. Vorath warriors fell silent. Michael led the push to the breached dome. He saw a scientist cornered. A Vorath raised a weapon. Michael fired first. The shot took the arm clean off. The scientist ran free. Inside the dome, fighting turned close. Corridors narrow. Lights flickering. Marines used flash grenades. Vorath used shadow fields to hide. But humans had thermal sights. They saw the heat. They shot through darkness. Outside, the fleet battle raged. Vorath ships tried to hold orbit. Human carriers launched fighters. Small crafts swarmed like angry bees. They dodged dark beams. They hit engines. One Vorath cruiser broke in half. Debris rained on the ice. The Illyrian support arrived next. Their sleek ships joined the fight. They used precise energy lances. They cut Vorath's shields without waste. Tharok cruisers followed. Heavy guns roared. They smashed hulls. Lyrath navigators guided everyone through the chaos. On the ground, Michael reached the central lab. Vorath had taken the lead scientist hostage. A tall figure held a blade to her throat. Back away, or she dies. Michael lowered his rifle slow. Let her go. We can talk. The Vorath laughed. A dry sound. Talk is for the weak. Michael looked at the scientist. She gave a tiny nod. Then she stomped hard on the foot holding her. The Vorath flinched. Michael moved. He tackled low. They hit the floor. The blade clattered away. Marines rushed in. The Vorath was pinned, cuffed, done. The outpost was cleared in under 2 hours. Vorath survivors surrendered. Their ships pulled back or burned. The fleet chased them to the rift edge, then stopped. No pursuit into unknown space. Not yet. Back at the council station, the room filled with leaders again. The rescued scientists spoke first. They came for data on the Veil. They wanted to weaponize it. Daniel listened. They will try again. Korvax slammed a fist on the table. Then we meet them together. No more tests. No more waiting. Virail agreed. A unified defense pact. Shared sensors. Joint patrols. Laura looked around. Earth will sign. But the pact must be equal. No one leads alone. They signed that night. Simple words. If one is attacked, all respond. The Veil would be watched by all. No one would stand alone. On Glacier Point, Michael walked the damaged dome. Workers started repairs. Scientists returned to their labs. A young girl ran up. She hugged his leg. Thank you for saving my mom. Michael knelt. We look out for each other, always. He looked up at the sky. The rift glowed soft now. Ships moved through it like friends. Daniel and Laura watched the same view from orbit. Daniel spoke quiet. They called us ancients, myths. Laura smiled small. Now they call us allies. Daniel nodded. And if the Vorath or anyone else forgets, Laura finished the thought, they will meet the blaze again. The galaxy felt smaller, safer, stronger. The flame that once burned alone now burned together, and no one dared call it myth anymore. The unified defense pact held strong for 2 years. Ships from 4 species patrolled the Veil together. Sensors watched every rift. Trade grew into friendship. Illyrian children learned human stories in school. Tharok warriors shared drinks with human marines. Lyrat songs mixed with Earth music on shared broadcasts. The galaxy started to feel like one place again. Then, the Vorath returned. Not as scavengers this time, as conquerors. They came through a new rift nobody had seen before. A massive fleet. Hundreds of black ships shaped like sharp thorns. Their weapons glowed with stolen Veil energy. Dark beams that ate shields and melted hulls. They hit fast. First an Illyrian listening post, then a Tharok mining colony, then a Lyros sky temple. They left nothing behind but silence. Messages flooded the council station. Panic, fear, calls for help. Daniel Carter stood in the command center. Screens showed red alerts everywhere. He looked at Laura Bennett. They want the whole side of the galaxy. They think we are still divided. Laura shook her head. Not anymore. The council met in emergency session. Korvax spoke first. His voice was iron. They took one of our outposts, killed everyone. We fight now. All of us. Virael agreed. Our science ships are ready to support. We can disrupt their energy weapons. A Lyrath representative sang a short note of resolve. We will guide through the storm. No one stands alone. Daniel nodded. Earth fleet is mobilizing. We meet them at the main rift cluster, the place they must pass to reach deeper. The plan formed quick. Joint command. Human carriers for fighter swarms. Tharok heavies for line breaking. Illyrian precision strikes. Lyrath navigation to outmaneuver in the Veil fringes. The combined fleet gathered near the largest stable rift. Thousands of ships. Gray human hulls beside black Tharok armor. Crystal Illyrian lances. Winged Lyrath scouts. They waited. The Vorath came like a shadow wave. Their lead ships pushed through the rift. Dark beams lanced out. The first allied ships took hits. Shields flared. One Tharok cruiser cracked open, but the line held. Daniel gave the order from his flagship. Phase 1. Engage. Human fighters launched in thousands. They flew wild patterns, dodging beams, striking engines. Vorath point defenses tried to track them. Too many targets, too much chaos. Tharok ships charged next. Heavy guns roared. They smashed into the enemy front. Hulls collided. Boarding teams launched. Marines in heavy suits cut through enemy airlocks. They fought in dark corridors lit by red eyes. No mercy asked, none given. Michael Torres led one boarding action. His team hit a Vorath command ship. They moved room to room. Flashbangs, rail fire. They reached the bridge. Vorath officers stood tall. A tall figure with glowing cracks in its skin. You come to take, Michael said. We say no. The Vorath laughed. You are few. We are endless. Michael smiled thin. We have friends now. His Marines opened fire. The bridge fell in seconds. Outside, the battle turned. Illyrian lances cut through Vorath shields. Precise hits disabled weapons. Lyrath navigators led allied ships through veil pockets. They appeared behind enemy lines. Surprise attacks tore formations apart. The Vorath pushed hard. Their dark beams ate 2 human carriers. Fires bloomed. Escape pods launched. Rescue teams moved in without pause. Laura coordinated from the secondary command ship. All wings. Focus the flagship, the one with the red core. Human missiles swarmed. Tharok torpedoes followed. Illyrian energy spikes joined. The Vorath flagship shook. Its core cracked. A chain reaction started. The ship broke in white fire. Debris spread like broken glass. With the flagship gone, the Vorath fleet hesitated. Orders stopped. Ships turned to run. Some surrendered, others burned. The battle ended after 12 hours. Space filled with wreckage. Allied losses were heavy, but the Vorath lost more. Their advance stopped cold. In the aftermath, rescue teams worked for days. They pulled survivors from broken hulls. Human medics treated Vorath wounded. No torture, no hate, just care. The surviving Vorath leaders were brought to the council station. They stood in chains. Their eyes dim now. Daniel faced them. You came for conquest. You found unity instead. One Vorath spoke low. We thought the old ones were gone. We thought the flame died. Korvac stepped forward. The flame never died. It waited. It grew. And when you tried to take what is not yours, it burned bright again. The Vorath bowed heads. We yield. We ask terms. Terms were simple. No more raids. Return stolen worlds. Join the council as equals, or stay outside forever. They chose to join. Years passed. The Veil rifts stayed open. Travel became normal. Trade became family. Stories of the ancients turned into stories of allies. Children from 4 species played together on shared stations. They learned each other's songs. They shared food. They laughed at the same jokes. Daniel Carter retired to a quiet house on Earth. He sat on a porch and watched the stars. Laura visited often. They talked about old battles, about new friends. Michael Torres taught young Marines. He told them one thing every class. We fight when we must. We help when we can. and we never stand alone again. On a clear night, Daniel looked up. The veil was thin now, almost gone in places. Stars shone through like old friends. Laura sat beside him. They used to call us mythical ancients. Now they call us brothers and sisters. He raised a glass to the sky, to the blaze that warms instead of burns. The galaxy turned peaceful. The flame still lived, but it no longer stood alone. It burned together, and that fire lit the stars for everyone.